The Eiffel Tower, a structure that has come to symbolize one of the most beloved cities on the planet, Paris, France. The tower has become so connected to the City of Lights that it's hard to imagine this city without it. But the tower has only been around for 129 years, and in that short time, we've become captivated by it. Here are 10 facts about this iconic structure. The tower was offered to Spain and to Canada. Before Gustave Eiffel entered his design into a contest that he would ultimately win, he offered the tower's design to Barcelona, Spain, who rejected it for being too costly, unrealistic, and unsuitable for their city. But in 1886, France held a contest for a striking centerpiece for the 1889 World's Fair. Eiffel's design competed against such eccentric designs like a giant guillotine, which thankfully was rejected. While French officials weren't too keen on Eiffel's design, they liked the height promised by it. And if they chose the tower, France would have the tallest building in the world, a record they kept until the Chrysler Building was built in 1930. The tower, consisting of 18,000 parts held together by 2.5 million rivets and weighing 7,300 tons, was almost moved to Montreal, Canada after a secret deal was signed between the mayor of Montreal and Charles de Gaulle of France. The Canadians wanted to use the tower for the 1967 Universal Exhibition, but thankfully, the Tower Management Company vetoed the decision. The tower's light show is copyrighted. There are 20,000 lights on the tower used to make it sparkle, which it does every night, every hour on the hour for 5 minutes. And it's these minutes that are copyrighted. The light show itself is considered a work of art. A clause in the EU Copyright Act says that because the lights are considered a work of art, taking and sharing pictures of the tower at night needs to comply with copyright regulations. In fact, the only legal photos are those approved by the Société d'Exploitation de la Tour Eiffel. The tower was once the world's largest advertisement. Before the tower was a copyrighted piece of art, it served as an advertisement for Citroën automobiles. André Citroën in 1925 rented out the tower using 250,000 light bulbs, 600 kilometers or 373 miles of electric cable. The letters were 30 meters or 33 yards tall. The Guinness Book of World Records records André Citroën's creation as the world's tallest advertisement. The lights were so bright that Charles Lindbergh used the tower as a beacon when landing after his solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. The advertisement stayed in place until 1934, when the automobile maker went bankrupt, causing Michelin to save the company at the French government's request. In 2009, Citroën, to mark their 90th anniversary and the 120th of the towers, created a special 12-minute light show celebrating technology. Painting the tower is a big deal. Gustave Eiffel wrote, "We will most likely never realize the importance of painting the tower, that it is the essential element in the conservation of metal works, and the more meticulous the paint job, the longer the tower will endure." Eiffel built his tower out of puddle iron, a material with essentially an eternal lifespan if it was regularly painted. The tower is painted about every 7 years and has been painted 18 times. In order to paint the tower, it takes 25 painters who paint by hand the 250,000 square meters or 2,690,978 square foot tower. 60 tons of paint is used. Additionally, the weight of eroded paint between the two paint campaigns is estimated to be 15 tons. The painters go through about 1,500 brushes and overalls, 5,000 sanding discs, 1,000 scrapers and pairs of leather gloves, 50 kilometers or 31 miles of safety line, 2 hectares or 250,278 square feet of safety net is also used. It takes these men about 18 months to complete. All the while, the tower remains open to the public. The cost is about 4 million euros. Since its construction, the tower has changed color a few times. When it was first built, the tower was a red-brown, which was then painted to a yellow ochre. A chestnut brown followed, and finally the color changed to the current bronze color. Regardless of the overall color, though, the tower is always painted with multiple shades present, lightening as the tower ascends into the sky. This shading helps the tower appear all one color and helps it blend better against the sky. Currently, there are 3 shades present. In October 2018, the tower will receive a facelift. There's speculation that there will be a color change back to its original tower color. However, the color has yet to be chosen by the Paris Ministry of Culture. The French made Hitler take the stairs. If you choose to go up to the second platform of the tower, you have an option. You can take a lift, or you can take the 669 stairs. If you choose to go up to the top, you must wait for a lift, and the lifts are so busy that they travel about 64,000 miles, or 103 kilometers per year. The French, knowing that people have a tendency toward laziness, counted on this when Hitler visited during World War II. They cut the lift cables, forcing Hitler to walk the 1,710 steps to the top of the tower. Radio saved the tower. While Eiffel wanted his tower around for eternity, he could only guarantee its survival for 20 years. At that time, the tower would pass into the hands of the French government, who were planning on selling it for scrap. Eiffel, searching for a way to keep the tower relevant, placed an antenna atop it. He also funded telegraphy experiments. The French military quickly saw the tower's utility in both sending and receiving messages. Because of this use alone, the tower was saved. In 1914, the tower helped intercept messages during the Battle of Marne. These messages helped the French military organize a counterattack. And in 1917, the tower was used to intercept coded messages between Spain and Germany. These messages offered detail about an operative called H-21. Based in part on these messages, the French arrested, convicted, and executed the Mata Hari for spying on behalf of Germany. Now, there are 120 antennae atop the tower. Eiffel always wanted the tower used for science. He said, "It will be for everyone an observatory the likes of which has never been available to science." Gustave Eiffel was an engineer and loved science and thought the tower was a great tool to help advance it. In fact, Eiffel stated the tower's purpose as meteorological and astronomical observations, physics experiments, a strategic vantage point, an optical telegraph communications point, a beacon for electric lightning and wind studies. In 1889, the tower was used both as a lab and for experiments. Eiffel even designed himself an office on the third floor so he could make physiological observations. He also installed a meteorology lab on the same floor as well. He also built a wind tunnel at the foot of the tower. And, in keeping with Gustave Eiffel's passion for science as well as his vision for the tower's main purpose, he had the names of 72 scientists engraved on the tower. At one point, the names became obscured by the many paint layers, but they've since been restored. The Eiffel Tower is quite valuable. The tower has been declared the most valuable monument in Europe, worth over an estimated 435 billion euros to the French economy. Europe's next most valuable monument is the Roman Colosseum, which is valued around 91 billion. To put it into perspective, the tower alone is worth 2 times as much as the annual wealth generated by the entire Italian city of Milan. The tower makes up 1/5 of France's annual gross domestic product. The Eiffel Tower has been the site of many a tragedy. The tower, in its short 129 years, has witnessed some of life's best moments, like first kisses to marriage proposals to weddings. But in turn, it has also witnessed some of life's worst. The most well-known death occurred on February 4, 1912. An Asturian-born French inventor and parachute pioneer, Franz Reichelt, fell to his death from the tower's second platform after his experimental body parachute failed to open. In May 2005, a Norwegian tourist walked onto the tower wearing a hidden parachute and helmet with a small camera attached. The man, thought to be filming a publicity stunt for a Norwegian clothing brand, jumped from the tower's second platform. During his 380-foot fall, his parachute became tangled with the tower structure and detached from his body. Alongside accidental deaths, the tower has also been the site of suicides, with the first known being in 1891. The tower has numerous safety measures in place, like security fences and safety nets, but sadly suicides still occur. While the Eiffel Tower management refuses to give exact annual numbers, saying it's always too many, the rumored annual estimate is thought to be around 4. If you or anyone is struggling, know it doesn't have to end this way. Your life is precious. Know that we all go through very rough moments, and sometimes it seems like it's just too much and won't end. But know that it can and will get better. There are many Eiffel Tower replicas around the world. While the Eiffel Tower was originally a monstrosity, it quickly captivated the world and replicas began being made. The most famous Eiffel Tower replica is probably the one at the Las Vegas Paris Hotel. This replica is 1/2 the size of the original. Paris, Texas, Paris, Tennessee, and Paris, Michigan all have Eiffel Tower replicas of varying heights. Paris, Texas's replica is the tallest of the three due to the addition of a cowboy hat atop the 65-foot structure. There are also replicas in all of these following cities: